Sadasyaman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavindra ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Se Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhavardhan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadeep Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled. Thank you very much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Varyan Esha Te Prashna Kritu Loka Hitang Nipa Atma Vid Sammata Pungsang Sutobhya Dishu Ja Paraha Varyane Sati Prashna Kritu Loka Hitang Nipa Atmavid Sammata Pungsang Sutobhya Dishu Ja Paraha Varyane Sati Prashna Kritu Loka Hitang Nipa Atmavid Sammata Pungsang Sutobhya Dishu Ja Paraha Sutobhyadi Nirajendra Ninang Santi Sahasasa Apassatam Atmatattam Griyeshu Griyamedhinam Shrutobhyadi Nirajendra Ninang Santi Sahasasa Apassatam Atmatatyam Griheshu Griyamedhinam. So, Parikshit Maharaj questioned to Sukadeva Goswami, what is my duty? Now I am going to die within 7 days. What is my duty? So, he inquired about Krishna, because Parikshit Maharaj, born in a Vaishnava family, Arjuna's grandson, the Pandavas, they are Vaishnavas and devotee of Krishna. So from the childhood, he had the opportunity to worship Krishna. He was playing with Krishna deities. So naturally, he was inclined to hear about Krishna. So he inquired, what is my duty? Shall I simply hear about Krishna or something else? So on hearing this question, Sukadeva Goswami is congratulating him. Varyane Sati Krishna. Oh, your question is very wonderful. Very welcome. Varyan. Varyan means very welcome. What I have given, Varyan. Glorious, yes. Glorious Krishna. Because you have inquired about Krishna. So, Baryane Sate Prashna Krito Loka Hitang Nipa. My dear king, this question is all auspicious for all the people of the world. If you simply inquire about Krishna or hear about Krishna, even though we do not understand, but that vibration of Krishna, just like we are chanting Hare Krishna, we may not understand what is meaning of Hare Krishna, but still, because it is transcendental sound, it is auspicious. Wherever you chant Hare Krishna, they may hear or they may not hear, it is auspicious for them. So we are sending our men for street Sankirtan. It doesn't matter whether people are eager to hear it or not, but it is auspicious. It will create an atmosphere which is very, very congenial to the human society. That should be our principle. Not that because we are chanting, nobody is taking care, we shall not be disappointed. This Sankirtan movement is so nice that simply by chanting, the vibration will create an auspicious atmosphere. Very honest of people. Now, you can practically see those who are old members. So I began in this New York, in that storefront, simply by chanting. So, I did not bribe you American boys and girls to come after me. The only asset was chanting. That Tompkinson, this Brahmananda Swami, he first came to dance with my chant. He and Achyutananda, that was the first dancing of our Krishna conscious movement. Yes. And I had no mridangas. That was what is that? Little drum. So I was chanting Hare Krishna from 2 to 5, 3 hours. And so many boys and girls were coming and joining. And there was first photograph in the Times, New York Times, they appreciated. And people also appreciated. So this chanting, the beginning was only chanting. There was nothing more. At that time there was no program of prasad distribution. That later on it came. So you should always be confident that this chanting is not a vibration of this material world. This is not vibration of material. Narottam Das Thakur says, Golokera prema dhana hari nama sankit. It is imported from the spiritual world. It is completely spiritual. Otherwise, how it is possible? Sometimes the so-called yogis, they say that chanting in Bombay, there is a so-called rascal, he says the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra and chanting of Coca-Cola is the same. He is such a rascal. He does not know that this is not a vibration of this material world. But one who has no knowledge, they think that what is the meaning of this chant? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But they can practically see that we can go on chanting day and night, still we shall not become tired. But any other material name you take, after chanting 3 times you will feel tired. That is the proof. You can go on chanting day and night, you'll never feel tired. So these people, poor people, they have no brain to understand. Anyway, the chanting is so auspicious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given his benediction, Cheta Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nidmapanam. We are suffering in this material world because we are not cleansed of our understanding or of our heart. The heart is not cleansed. So this chanting will help us to cleanse the heart. Sinnatang sakatha Krishna punna savana kirtana riddantastha avadrani vidhunati suhissata. Chanting is so nice that as soon as you take to chanting or hear about Krishna, the chanting is also hearing about Krishna. So immediately the cleansing process begins. Cheta Darpanamarjana. And as soon as our heart is cleansed, Bhava Mahadavagni Nidmapanam, then we become free from the blazing fire of this material existence. So, chanting is so auspicious. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj here, Sukadeva Goswami says, Baryane Sati Prasna Krito Loka Hitang Nipa. In another place also, Sukadeva Goswami, Suta Goswami says, Jat Kita Krishna Sang Prasna Jayatma Sam Prasidati. When the great saintly persons in the Naimisharanya inquired about Krishna, he replied like that, Jat Kita Krishna Sang Prasna. Because you have inquired about Krishna, it will cleanse your heart. Jeno Atma Sam Prasidati. You will feel a very transcendental bliss, comfort within your heart. So, Baryane Sati Prasna Krita Lokahitam. Lokahitam. Actually, this movement is the prime welfare activities to the human society. Lokahitam. It is not a business. Business means my hitam, my benefit only. It is not. It is Krishna's business. Krishna's business means Krishna is for everyone. Therefore, Krishna's business is meant for everyone. We therefore welcome everyone. There is no distinction. Come here and chant Lokahitam. And a sadhu, a saintly person should always think of Lokahitam. That is the difference between sadhu and ordinary man. Ordinary man, he thinks only of himself or expanded himself for family, for community, for society, for nation. These are all expanded selfishness. Expanded. When I am alone, I am thinking of my benefit only. When I am little grown up, I think of my brothers and sisters. And when I am little advanced, I think of my family. Little advanced, I think of my community. Little advanced, I think of my country, my nation. Or I can think of the whole human society internationally. But Krishna is so big that Krishna includes everyone, not only human society, animal society, bird society, beast society, tree society, everything. Krishna says, Aham bija pradapita, I am the seed-giving father of all these forms. There are 8,400,000 different kinds of forms. Krishna claims all of them are my part and parcel, living entities, but they are now covered by different dress only, but they are living entities. This is Krishna consciousness vision. Therefore, one who is actually Krishna conscious, Pandit, Pandita Samadarshina. Pandita, he does not see the outward dress. He sees the living entity encased in this particular type of body. So he has no concern with the body. Therefore, a sadhu always thinks of everyone's benefit. Just like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami of the Goswamis, it is said, Lokanang hitakarino tribhuvane manno, because they were benefactor for all kinds of living entities. Therefore, they were honored tribhuvane in 3 worlds. Tribhuvane, lokanang hitaka, nana shastra vicharanaika nipuno. The sadhu's business is for the benefit of all living entities. A sadhu does not like to cut even a tree because he knows here is a living entity. He is standing here for many years by his karma, and he has to continue this for many years more. So he cannot avoid this because it is nature's law. Just like if you are put into prison for 6 months, nobody can save you, nobody can make you one day less than 6 months. So we get our particular type of body, we have to remain in that body for a certain period by the laws of nature. So, by cutting the body, the living entity does not die, but because we check the continuation of his period, therefore he becomes sinful. You cannot cut even a tree without Krishna's purpose. Without Krishna's purpose, we cannot kill even an ant, we cannot cut even a tree, then we shall be liable to punishment. So, a sadhu sees that here is also a living entity. Pandita samadar, vidya vinaya sampanni brahmani gavi hastini sunichi cha supakichi. Pandita samadarshana. Pandit does not make any discrimination that here is an animal, here is a man. No, he sees the animal is also part and parcel of Krishna. He has got a different body, and the man also, he is also part and parcel of Krishna. He has got a different body. Karmana, according to one's karma, he is put into different time. So, lokahita. Now, this Krishna Sankrishna, this question and answer about Krishna, if we simply hear, that is the recommendation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sthane sthita sutigatang tanuvang manobhi. You remain in your position, but you try to hear about Krishna. That is the recommendation. Simply you come in this temple and try to hear about Krishna. Sthane sthita sutigatang tanuvang. That will purify. Krishna, Kirtan, Krishna's name is so powerful. Simply if you hear Krishna, 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 you become purified. You become purified. Therefore it is said, Variyane sati prasna krito loko hidananipo atmavid sammata. Atmavid. It is not that I am only eulogizing atmavid sammata. All great personalities who is self-realized. Atmavid. Atmavid means one who knows Atma. General people, they do not know Atma. But Atmavid means one who knows Atma. Aham Brahmasmi. I am spirit soul, I am not this body. And one who is well acquainted about this Atma Tattva. So unless one becomes aware of this Atma Tattva, whatever he is doing, he is being defeated. They are saying, generally people, they are thinking that I am now constructing this big skyscraper building, I am successful, I have become Rothschild, I have become Ford. That is not Atmavid. Atmavid, because he is materially opulent, that does not mean Atmavid. That subject matter will be discussed in the next verse. Apasadam atmatattam. One who cannot see his Atma. Griheshu griham. They are compact in this materialistic way of life. Griheshu griham. Their condition is very... Actually, this is the position of the whole world. They are not Atmavid. They do not inquire. Atmatattam. Therefore, they are less intelligent. In the airport, I say that our propaganda is to make people more intelligent. They might not have taken it very nicely. They thought that this poor Swami has come to make us intelligent. But actually, that is the fact. That is the fact. This is not intelligence. That bodily concept of life, I spoil my whole life for bodily comforts, and then after giving up this body I become a cat and dog. Then what is that intelligence? Is that very good intelligence? Actually, it has happened. I do not wish to discuss how our Godbrother Siddhartha, he was speaking from a paper that one of our great politicians in India, he has now become a dog in Sweden. It is published. There were inquiries about some prominent man in India, and he has answered, and one of the answer is, such and such politician is now one of the 2 dogs of a gentleman in Sweden. You see? So, this time, in this life I may become very big man, big politician, big diplomat, big businessman, but next life, after your death, it is your greatness of this material will not help you. That will depend on your work, and nature will offer you a certain type of body you'll have to accept. Of course you'll forget, that is the concession given by nature, just like we do not remember what we had been in our past life. If I remember that suppose I was a king in my past life, now I have become a dog, then how much suffering it will be. Therefore, by nature's law, one forgets. And death means this forgetfulness. Death means this forgetfulness. So this is a great science. People do not know it. Our Krishna consciousness movement is very scientific, authorized. So our business is to enlighten people as far as possible, and at the same time we must remain enlightened. We may not be again covered by the darkness of Maya. That you should be. That you can keep yourself very fit not to be covered by the Maya. Mami vaja prapadanti mayami tam taranti. If you very strictly adhere to the principle of Krishna consciousness, then Maya will not be able to touch you. That is the only remedy. Otherwise, Maya is always looking after the opportunity, loopholes, how she can capture you again. But if you remain strictly in Krishna consciousness, Maya will not be able to do anything. Mami vaja prapadanti, devidhisa gunamai, mama maya durutta. It is very difficult to get out of the clutches of Maya. It is very difficult. But Krishna says, Mami vaja prapadanti, maya me tang taranti. If one is strictly adherent to the lotus feet of Krishna, always, therefore this program is 24 hours thinking of Krishna. Satatam, satatam, chintayat Krishna, kirtaniya sadahari. These are the recommendations. So if we simply think of Krishna, if you cannot do anything, simply think of it. That is the highest meditational perfection. So, always chant Hare Krishna mantra, be in touch with Krishna in so many ways, then you are secure. Maya will not be able to touch you. And if we can somewhere or other pass our days, and at the time of death we remember Krishna, then the whole life is successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashlakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamniti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So yeah, very nice class by Srila Prabhupada, and someone is making the point that we don't generally hear Srila Prabhupada himself leading the chanting of the verses at the beginning of the class. So this was the beginning of the second canto, and so Shukadev Goswami, he was praising the questions of Maharaj Parikshit. Does anyone remember? What does Prabhupada say? What did Parikshit Maharaj ask to Shukadev Goswami? What did Prabhupada say about? Prabhupada said what Parikshit Maharaj asked.
What's the duty of a human being in general and dying man in specific?
Yes, thank you. So yeah, what is the duty of a dying man? He has 7 days left to live. So at the end of the first canto, Parikshit Maharaj had found out that he has 7 days to live, so he left behind his kingdom. He'd come to the bank of the Ganges, and there all the great sages also started assembling. And then Shukadev Goswami also came along and sat there. And Parikshit Maharaj approached him and began to ask him different questions. Specifically, what Parikshit Maharaj asked him is, as we said, what is the duty of a man who is about to die? And specifically, what should he chant? What should he hear? What should he remember? So, Shukadeva Goswami is very, very happy with the question. And so in these two verses, or especially in the first verse, he glorifies the question. So I'll read out the exact translations. Text 1, Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, "My dear king, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists." And text 2, "Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society, O Emperor." So this is Shukadeva Goswami's response, basically, to Parikshit Maharaj's questions. And in particular, Srila Prabhupada says that Parikshit Maharaj was naturally inclined to hear about Krishna. Anyone remember? Why was he naturally inclined to hear about Krishna? He was born in a Pandava family. They were already devotees of Krishna. Yes. And what was he doing during his childhood? Playing with the deities of Krishna. Yeah. So he was a Vaishnava. It was a Vaishnava family. He was already very naturally inclined to hear about Krishna. And therefore, Prabhupada picks out this word, Varyan. Varyan eshate prashna. What does Varyan translate to? Glorious. Or? Yes, very welcome. All welcome. This question, these questions are all welcome, very welcome. They're glorious. And so then Srila Prabhupada starts making the point that whatever we hear about Krishna or whatever we inquire, even if you don't understand anything, still it is all auspicious. Still it is very, very auspicious. Even if someone is not really hearing or not really listening, still it is very auspicious. Even if they have no eagerness, if they're not paying attention or not doing it properly, still just this chanting of Hare Krishna is very, very auspicious. So it reminded me of one of my favorite verses, Sanketyam parihasyam va stobam helanameva va vaikuntha grahanam masheshaga haram vidu. That even if one chants the holy name jokingly or inattentively or to indicate something and so on, still it has great effect. Still it can rid one of all reactions. And then Srila Prabhupada starts remembering the early days in New York, because that was how the movement started. He remembers how in the storefront they were chanting, and then in Tompkinson Square Park they were chanting 3 hours every day, and the New York Times took a picture and so on. So he's remembering all of this, and he was saying it was mainly the chanting that attracted all the early devotees. He says at that time there was not even any prasadam distribution, just chanting. I got more involved because of prasadam, not because of chanting. That was what attracted me. But yeah, it's amazing. So many people came just because of hearing Prabhupada chanting. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada says that this chanting, this Hare Krishna mantra, is not from the material world, it is from the spiritual world. And what does he quote in relation? Golokere Premana. Yes, thank you. So, what is the effect of this chanting on our consciousness? What is the effect? Srila Prabhupada quotes another verse from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's given the benediction, the effect. Maybe someone can put the hand up if they'd like to.
Srila Prabhupada said that it purifies our understanding and our heart.
Yes. And what does he quote?
Cheto Darpanamarjana?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Cheto Darpanamarjana, the beginning of Shikshashtakam. So Srila Prabhupada quotes this in regard to this is the effect that chanting has on our consciousness. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki. Too early. So then Srila Prabhupada starts relating these two Bhagavatam verses also to verses from the first canto. In particular, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 5, and where Sutta Goswami was appreciating the questions of the sages of Naimisharanya. Anyone know or recall which verse Srila Prabhupada quotes? Ananta Chitta Prabhu is smiling at me, but does anyone know? Oh, Bishav Prabhu has his hand up. So.
So it's in relation to the chanting, purifying our hearts?
No, about appreciating the questions. Sutta Goswami also in first canto, he appreciated the questions of the sages of Naimisharanya. Anyone know? No, not that. Sorry? Not quite. From Bhagavatam. Yes, Ananta Chitta. The mic is good.
मनया साधु पृष्ठो हम भवद्भिर्लोक मंगलम यत्कृत कृष्ण संप्रश्नो येनात्मा सुप्रसिद्धति.
Thank you. Yes. The translation is as follows. O sages, I have been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and so are of welfare to the are so of relevance to the world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. So, therefore, Prabhupada goes on to talk about Lokahitam. What does Lokahitam mean? Welfare to everyone. Loka means all people, people of the whole world. He says that this is the difference between an ordinary man and a sadhu. An ordinary man only thinks of his benefit or slightly expanded benefit. He may think of his family, then he may get a little more advanced. He may think of his society, his country. But he says that Lokahitam, a sadhu, he thinks of all human society internationally. And not just human society, but also animal society and plant society, basically all living entities. A sadhu is someone who thinks of welfare for all living entities, not just humans within his local field. So, in particular, he says a sadhu does not even like to cut a tree because they have a particular vision. Everywhere they see living entity. And then in relation to this again, Srila Prabhupada quotes a verse from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5. Anyone recall? Sorry? Oh, Abhay wants to recite. Okay. Oh, Jignesh Prabhu is trying to recite it. Maybe you can have that.
Was it Vidya Vinay Sampanna?
Yes.
Vidya Vinay Sampanna, Brahmana Gavyastini, Sunicheva Supakecha, Pandita Samadarshina.
Yeah, thank you. So the verse explains how a Pandita sees everything with equal vision, Samadarshina, all living entities with equal vision. So similarly, this is a sadhu. He sees all living entities with equal vision. And so therefore, he acts for the benefit of all living entities, Lokahitam. And after that, so Prabhupada is basically breaking down the verse word by word. So then he goes on to the word Atmavit. So what does Atmavit mean? Yes, Damodar Prabhu. Okay. Next week.
So Atma means the self or the soul.
Uh-huh.
Then Vid means to be aware of or have knowledge of.
Okay. So what is it like?
Having
What is
self-knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge
So
of the self.
basically, Atmavit refers to the other transcendentalists. So here what is being said is that all the other transcendentalists also approve of such questions, which are for the upliftment of all society at large. So this is very interesting. We find in many other places in Shastra also that this point often comes where they refer to also how the other transcendentalists are saying the same thing. Like if you think in chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, Param Brahma, Param Dhama. But then he also says, yeah, Krishna, you've also said it, and Narada, Sita, Devala, Vyasa. They're also saying the same thing. The other authoritative personalities are also saying the same thing. Even Krishna in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, he says, Nasato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate satam Ubayorapi drishtantas tanayos tattvadarshibhi. He says, of the non-existent, there is no permanence, and of the eternal, there is no change. And he says all the other transcendentalists also, the Tattvadarshibis, they also say the same thing. So similarly here, Shukdev Goswami is also saying the transcendentalists, they're also appreciating these kind of questions. And from Atmavit, Prabhupada picks the word Atmatattvam. Atmatattvam means? Yeah, knowledge of the self. To have knowledge about, we're not the body, like that, we're the soul. And many people don't know this. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, therefore they're less intelligent. And people don't like to hear that they're less intelligent. People get confused when we call them less intelligent. But he's saying that if they don't know that we're not the body, then that must mean we're less intelligent. So therefore we're trying to educate everyone about this science of the soul. And then he refers to, just to clarify, so what then Prabhupada says is, he quotes one of his godbrothers who in a letter has told him that one astrologer in India has said that one big politician has now been born as a dog in Sweden. So if you want to find out which politician, you can Google it. I Googled it. It's one of the big politicians from Prabhupada's time, from the independence movement. Or just after the independence movement. So yeah, apparently some astrologer in India at that time had predicted that because this politician was, he wasn't so spiritual, so he apparently he had been born as a dog in Sweden. So Prabhupada was just mentioning this. And finally he ends the class with mentioning that, okay, we're trying to enlighten others, we're trying to get others out of Maya, but at the same time, we shouldn't come under Maya while trying to enlighten others. We should also keep ourselves very fit. We should also protect ourselves. And so how does one overcome Maya? Prabhupada quotes another verse from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7. What's the beginning of the verse? Devyesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam eva prapadyante maya metam tarantite. That one has to surrender to Krishna. And in particular then, Prabhupada gives a very practical method that one simply has to try and remember Krishna always, or chant Hare Krishna always. And by this process one can become free of the effect of Maya. One can always keep themselves in Krishna consciousness. He says, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. And so yes, that is pretty much the end of the class. So if anyone has any comments, questions, reflections, we have a few minutes if anyone would like to share. Yes?
I don't understand. So did the astrologers say that politician was actually born?
So yes, this is what the astrologer had predicted.
You're saying his name is there on the Google.
Yeah, if you Google it, you can easily find it. Yeah.
Thank you. And could you also talk about the sthane sthita shruti gatam?
Yeah. So one more verse that Prabhupada quoted is Stane from 10th canto, chapter 14, Stane sthita shrutigatam tanuman manobir. So this is a very famous verse. It's a verse that comes up also in the conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. And basically all that verse explains is that to take up the process of Krishna consciousness, one doesn't have to change anything external. One can remain in that particular situation. One simply has to begin hearing about Krishna. So therefore it was very relevant to this verse, because Shukadev Goswami here was appreciating the questions, and Prabhupada was making this whole point of how hearing has such a powerful effect. So even whatever position one may be in during this life, whatever circumstance one is in one place, Srila Prabhupada even says that even if that job is not such a nice job, it's not so moral, for example, or it's involving many abominable activities, for example, still one doesn't have to first change the externals. First thing one has to do is just begin hearing about Krishna. Sthane sthita, just stay in that place and begin hearing about Krishna. So, yeah. Okay, so maybe we can end here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnava Vangsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitan Sham Bhajasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta